Hello, hello. Welcome to today's community call. It's Thursday, October 17th. We're excited to join and talk about some exciting developments on the side of delegation and Scroll DAO overall. I'm Eugene Leventhal. I recently joined Scroll to support with governance as we go live. So yeah, excited to be here, and we'll pass it off to Chris to quickly introduce as I get the screen share ready.
Awesome. Thanks. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. My name is Chris. I am also part of the Scroll team. I've been here a little bit over a year. Primarily been doing a lot of work on the ecosystem side, community building, and now governance, which is super exciting. But yeah, thank you all for joining us today.
And hopefully this works. All right, cool. So for today, we're going to start off, and the focus of the call is going to be talking about Scroll DAO and a call for delegates. And we're going to initially just start off. Chris will share a little bit of context on Scroll, and then I'll talk a little more about the call for delegates, and we'll walk through the co-creation cycle, and we'll try to get through that as quickly as we can without rushing it, just to leave time both for one or two delegates who we've spoken to just come and quickly say hello, and then we can have kind of a general AMA going from there for the remaining time of the half hour. So with that, yeah, Chris, do you mind kicking us off with how Scroll started?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think quick note on how the name actually I think is always interesting. A lot of it came, from really scaling with a roll up was a lot of the inspiration behind the name Scroll. If you take, some of the letters there, you'll combine it. But there've been a lot of like uses going forward that really emphasize a lot of like the core tenets of what Scroll really cares about, which is like scaling, compatibility, and making a UX that's as easy as scrolling on your phone. Yeah, and I think overall, as many as you know, Scroll is a layer two solution for Ethereum. I think overall, the inspiration behind it, as you know, Ethereum as is a great network, but given where it does not meet the needs of what is meant to be a world computer. And sort of that's where a lot of the inspiration has come from building out this ZK EVM that is able to scale Ethereum by remaining it by controlling the same properties that's been important, which are being decentralized and being secure. Uh, and this has allowed us to really scale the network and allowed us to leverage a finality, which is a super important aspect of our roll up, to allow the builders to really just focus on what's important for them, which is innovate and create. Yeah, and I think overall over the past year, what you see here is that we built a ZVA that's been 100% compatible with the EVM. We are at least now the number one ZK EVM, and I actually think this 1.2 billion number has actually grown a lot since it was last posted, and our ecosystem has overall grown to more than 250 partners since our mainnet launch in the past year. So yeah, I'll let Eugene take it from here, and he'll talk more about how to get involved with Scroll DAO and what that means for all of you.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Chris. And so I imagine for folks dialing in, as you probably heard, TGE is going to be coming up shortly, and then the token unlock is going to be the 22nd. That means as token holders actually get to hold their token, we're going to be launching the DAO. And so we're in this phase where we're looking to add delegates and have folks join the platform. And then we're going to get started with some focused activities the week after. So that's going to be the week of October 28th, and we'll be providing both more documentation and a more focused calendar next week. And starting the week of the 28th, we're going to have that co-creation cycle, which we briefly mentioned, and I'll walk you through shortly. First things first, on the delegation side, you might have seen the tweet go out. We are indeed looking for folks to join and partake in delegation. We do want to just take a moment to stress that, delegation, especially for those who really want to stay fully engaged and be very active in governance, it does require some, time commitment and energy. And as part of that, there are some expectations and responsibilities that we want to highlight. And so with the expectations broadly, and in line with overall Scroll goals, we want to make sure that there's a focus on new initiatives and taking initiative on the individual level and being open to pushing for more innovation. And related to that is going to be governance engagement and actually making sure that folks are active in the platform. And we'll outline a little more of that in the responsibilities. And very importantly, to provide transparency in decision making. And so, as part of that, as mentioned, with this commitment to governance, it's coming in with the intention to be kind of transparent in why you're voting, being open. We are going to have a conflict of interest element as well. So, really hoping that folks bring in ethical standards and integrity to their decision making. We want folks to be willing to engage with the community and communicate about the decisions they're making and to yeah, just really have space for those kind of conversations. We also want to make sure that there's accountability and responsibility both on the level of delegates to their token holders, as well as to each other and to all other stakeholders involved, including ourselves. So yeah, for folks who do come in as delegates, please do always feel free to reach out. And this is very much a long-term conversation because we also want to make sure that there is long-term alignment and desire to participate as able to. And so, when it comes to some best practices, I think it starts with understanding the responsibilities that we're talking about today. And again, that will be provided in documentation that's coming soon. We hope folks get a chance to and really expect them to review the key documents, both for Scroll governance overall, as well as for the specific proposals that go live. We're going to try to create some governance design decisions that make it a little easier from an attention perspective, make it more predictable with voting cycles. But nonetheless, there will need to be kind of staying aware of all the different documents and information that's coming out as you sign up. And I'll walk you through in a moment how to do that. You'll have a chance to create your delegate statement, which really kind of outlines who you are and presents your kind of values, your top priorities from that perspective to the community of token holders and more broadly. So that will be on Agora, and I'll show you how, for anyone who's interested, how you can do that momentarily. Uh, Once you do that, and once our forum goes live next week, folks will be expected to copy over their delegate statement and to open up a thread on the forum so that there can be that room for continuous discussion on some of the decisions on specific votes that come up. We also think it's important, as already mentioned, to engage openly and continuously. So, we recognize folks don't have the capacity to be on 24/7, but nonetheless, in best to the best of your abilities, to communicate with the community. And I think as part of that, just also being open with, limitations, constraints, things like that, so people can also be more reasonable with expectations. And finally, we think it's important to feel comfortable seeking support and clarification. We're all here building something new together, so it's always okay to flag that you may need support in an area and you want to bring in other collaborators, or you might want to find other collaborators, or if you need some kind of point clarified. We're very much going to promote productive and healthy discourse here. So yeah, we hope folks will feel comfortable, providing constructive criticism in a productive sense, and will be willing to help move each other forward in that sense. And do feel free to start dropping questions in chat if folks haven't been. I'm just going to run through the rest of the presentation and then we'll address any of the questions that might have come up from there. But let me walk you through how you can sign up to become a delegate, and you do so first by going to gov.scroll.io/delegates. You'll see in the top right corner, there's a Connect Wallet button. Once you click it, you'll have the standard Connect Your Wallet pop-up come up. Once you're connected in there, you'll again click on that wallet icon in the top right, and you'll see this pop-up come up where you can create your delegate statement. So once you're creating your delegate statement, make sure that you do fill out that statement portion up top, and do try to provide some actual, reasonable context on your background. Definitely mention if you're already a delegate in any other ecosystem. Make some statements about some of the values that you prioritize, and these values kind of map to these top issues. And there's also a section where you can kind of add more of an individualized breakout on a specific issue. So do fill out those as well. And then in the other info, which is where you could add your Twitter, your Discord, your Warpcaster links for Farcaster. So all that would be helpful just for folks to get more context on who you are. And so now we're going to mention the co-creation cycle. And so the way we're going to start things with the DAO, we are taking approach of progressive decentralization. And as part of that, we want to start with this co-creation cycle so we could maximize alignment between those who have already been in the community and working on it, and folks who are very excited to partake and might be newer, and kind of a full combination of everyone there. And so as part of this, we wanted to start off with a few priority areas. For three of these, for growth, global community, and governance iterations, we're going to have a series of more focused interactions over the course of 7 weeks. Experimentations is more of an open-ended one that, what are we missing? So please feel free to shout out things that you think are missing as priorities in that last bucket. But we're really going to be focusing on the first three when it comes to this full co-creation cycle. And so over these 7 weeks, we'll have context setting, and this will start the week of October 28th. That'll be followed by a week of focusing on sourcing initial ideas. We'll be doing a series of facilitated interactions using some Miro board sessions over different time zones that week, so that we can just get, a brain dump of as many ideas as possible. Excuse me, bring that onto the forum. And then in weeks 3 and 4, and if I'm remembering correctly, week 3 corresponds to DevCon week. So we're just assuming that that is going to be a slightly less active week on the forums, trying to keep up with live conferencing. But that fourth week, we're going to focus on more informal voting. So at this stage, it's just kind of ideation type voting as opposed to voting on proposals. So we're really going to keep the voting on the forum more in the form of likes and interactions than any formalized voting at that point. Because from there, for the ideas that really start getting the most interest from the community and delegates, we're going to start co-designing proposals over the coming week so that folks can submit them and have a chance for some reaction from the community before we finally go into voting on those first proposals. And so we're definitely excited to share more information about all of these different elements. As mentioned, we're going to have more documentation come out next week that can provide more color and depth. I'm going to pause there, just seeing if Chris has anything he would like to add at this point.
Yeah, no, I think you've done a great job covering, what to expect once the DAO goes live. I think important dates to just keep in mind. I think after the airdrop on October 22nd is when we'll see a lot of more of these activities picking up and the forum opening up the week after. But yeah, I think the main thing I think we want to emphasize is that any community member is welcome to participate in governance. I think the forums is going to be, especially in the early days, allow anyone to really like promote their ideas and really be a part of the community from day one. So we're super excited to finally being able to have the community be a part of the long term mission for Scroll. So yeah, super excited.
Yeah, great. And yeah, so if folks do have any questions about governance or delegation, please feel free to drop it in chat. Otherwise, we might take the chance to bring up someone who we've connected with and who we know is going to be coming up as a delegate. Varit, if you're in the chat or in the meet, we'll be happy to bring you up and potentially introduce yourself and just see, yeah, can kind of talk about delegation for a moment, and then, yeah, we'll see if any other questions come up.
Hi guys, hello everyone. Yeah, excited to join this first community call. Uh, Thank you for having me here. Yeah,
Yeah, pleasure to have you.
yeah, maybe I could like give like a little introduction about myself. I'm here representing QLab. I'm the founder of the team. We are a team of like golf governance researchers and data analysts, and blockchain engineers. And our mission is to support, DAOs, decentralized governance by providing data-driven tools and also insights that promote transparency and accountability for informed decision making. And some of track record would be we had an opportunity to work with some of the uh, other DAOs like Safe, Optimism, Arbitrum, where we focuses on enhancing the governance processes. And as the Scroll co-creation cycle begins, we plan to become one of the active delegates, and we are excited to contribute from the start. uh, well, we are excited to contribute from helping shape the governance framework and also ensure that the DAO operates transparently and effectively. And I know, like one some of the goals that you guys set out from the co-creation cycle is focus on growth, community, and also governance iterations, which pretty much we align with, and looking forward, playing a role in driving this meaningful process. And yeah, I guess that would be my intro. Unless there's anything else I should talk about,
No, that was great. I guess if you're open to sharing, especially in case there are folks who are new to delegation and governance and who might be wondering what the journey is like, would you mind sharing about, yeah, how you got to the point of, working on Curia and becoming a delegate in the first place?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so my background, I think I joined the space since 2018, 2019. Back then was just more of like an investors, and then I got into the rabbit hole from like the DeFi summer 2020. And one of the core parts of these protocol is the governance side of things, and I got really really interested on that end. And fast forward to 2023, I got a chance to join to become the delegates of the optimism, contributing to public goods. And my team primarily is based in Bangkok, Thailand, and we pretty much a lot of our delegators are from our local community, and we started from there. We participate because we in Southeast Asia we have a lot of these early users crypto adoption happening here, and I think that these areas are pretty underrepresented in the space, and that's why we wanted to start engaging and start representing these regions, and that's how it came to be. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing. I do think for those, and I did see a comment, expressing interest in becoming a delegate. It is really great to see, how many folks have been generally expressing interest, and I do think it's an exciting time to join. With this video, hopefully, which will be recorded, I believe, so you should be able to go back and check out how to sign up to become a delegate, if anything. And yeah, I do think it's a great opportunity to get active, and especially as this co-creation cycle picks up, and then just general DAO activities as we move forward beyond that. It'd be a great opportunity for folks to get involved, and again, in that element of being willing to seek support and clarification, feel free to ask questions and see how you could improve in your own journey, because yeah, it's definitely not always the easiest when folks just arrive, but always exciting to and interesting to hear about the journey. So I appreciate you sharing, Varit.
Cool, cool. Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess, do you have any questions for us as we get closer to things starting with the co-creation cycle and everything?
Yeah, maybe some of the question I have, some of those might already cover in the docs you share, but I think it would be great if you could share with the community as well, regarding like what do you think would be the main goals and priority during these creations cycles, and how you see, that we as a delegates play a part in this whole cycle creation.
For sure, yeah. So the co-creation cycle, as mentioned, the priorities are around growth, are around global community, and around governance iteration. You could think of that one broadly as a range of research and experimentation. And so, with all of these, whether you're a delegate or you're a community member, we would be excited for folks to partake on the calls that we're going to host, to get involved in the forum and the async portions of those, because at the end of the day, the whole reason we're doing this is to try to co-design something together. So, in a world where people had infinite time, it would be great to have everyone who's excited by this to be involved in all of the topics. But, we think it's most realistic to kind of pick one of the priorities that speaks to you the most, that gets you most excited, whether it's, again, thinking about growth in different contexts, whether it's thinking about the global community and how to nurture that both at a local and connected global scale, or on the governance research or governance experimentation side. So I think as folks, again, we'll be announcing a calendar of calls sometime next week, and the calls themselves will start after the 28th. And so folks will be welcome to come and participate. And yeah, contribute. A lot of those are really going to be much more discussion based, and workshopping ideas together, so that at the end of it we can get to a series of proposals. And of course, we'll see how many proposals seem to make sense based on the nature and quality of the discussion. But we're really hopeful to see a series of proposals come out across all three of these. Right, that can be a range of specific ideas in the direction of growth. That can be specific community ideas. For both of these, it can be more of a program of programs model. So how do you do very localized activities while also building benefits across multiple related activities? And so for the governance side, that can be either helping us develop a governance research roadmap, or that can be about actually defining some kind of concrete experiment to run with governance next year. So we hope that this kind of mix of different areas provides a lot of exciting opportunities for folks. And again, you don't just have to be a delegate to partake and have your voice heard as part of these activities, but at the end of it, delegates will be the ones voting. And again, anyone is able to go ahead and sign up for delegation by visiting gov.scroll.io/delegates. But yeah, I don't know, Chris, if there was anything else on your mind there, or Varit, if you had any other questions. We'll see if I'll double check if any other questions had come in.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the stuff you mentioned is super important. I think one area I want to nail down is just, I think for us, like one of the big differentiators is sort of adding this global community aspect is, I think, something very different than what we've currently seen out there. Especially as we talk about Ethereum being a world computer, right? Like it's not just the applications, it's not just the infrastructure that's on the blockchain, but it's really about the different people that make up this community, right? And I think for having like a delegate that brings a perspective from like Southeast Asia, that's something we want to see as part of our DAO, because that's where we want to kind of make sure we have a perspective that really encapsulates what's around the world. And Scroll has already been doing a lot around that. We've gone to different parts of the world. We've been in Latin America. We hosted a hackathon in Argentina. Africa, we were just there last week as part of like the Magma residents meeting different founders from Africa. So I think for us, it's super important not just to have the typical structure, but be very intentional about making sure we have representation from different parts of the world and making sure their perspective is being included in these discussions. So I'm super excited to have y'all on board. I do have one question, which is, as a delegate, that's been involved in different, organizations, how do you like approach governance when it comes to these different protocols? Is there something you look at differently, or is there something you try to like understand before, just going into it and giving your input.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think it all comes down to getting myself or like the team involved in like actually, you know, reading a lot of forums and also looking at a lot of like different approach that each DAOs take in also like to solve some of the uh, things that like to pursue the mission that is set by the DAO. And I think some of the stuff that is really important is to stay active, stay involved, and also talk to a lot of like different stakeholders within the community. I think that is really helpful, and yeah, that is one. And also, I think um, yeah, that's so far that I could think of right now. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that we need to think about. Not just operating the governance itself. Stuff like how do we decide, how do we distribute funds to actually bootstrap or like um, boost the builders community to help increase activities within the ecosystem, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Is there any specific questions like yeah you want me to like answer? I'm not sure if that actually answer your questions.
I think that was a great recap, right? I think it's definitely appreciated, especially as we have a lot of people signing up to be delegates for the first time. I think just giving them some insights into that process is valuable. But yeah, I don't have anything else on my end. Eugene, I don't know if you have anything else, or Barrett, if you have another question for us.
Yeah, nothing else on my end. Varrett, if you have anything else, happy to field that.
I
Yeah.
mean, not any particular questions, but I would say that maybe if any of you guys wanted to become a delegates, you should start participating, and also see what are some of the missing parts or like things what you have that you think exist within the community or like the Scroll ecosystem, and see what values you could bring in, what expertise, what skills you could bring in, and like start contributing from there. I think that's the quickest way you can get started.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, and I think that is the perfect note to end on for this call. I do hope folks are excited to partake, and again, do feel free to reach out if anything. Otherwise, we are very excited to see how things start and to be in conversations with many of you very soon. So yeah, thank you, and have a good morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are in the world, and be well. Thanks
All
for
right.
joining, Bart.